Hey guys, I want to discuss on this article which tells us that the Zion Road and Upper Thomson GLS site is being awarded despite the sole bidder and also lower than expected offers. The Upper Thomson one, as I mentioned in my previous video, that the Upper Thomson one more or less guarantee will award. But the Zion Road one, I was surprised. I would say I was surprised when I saw this news today that they still went ahead award. And then if you look at it, it kind of makes sense that the reason why they awarded the Zion Road one, despite being much lower PASF, I think will be like what they say over here in this article. The fact that it is still a pilot project for long stay service apartment. So I don't think this one they are going to be selling it. That's why it's a little bit like a new asset class that developers may want to be more wary of, and government probably understand this, and that's why they maybe in a way they give chance to CDL and like, hey, okay, since this one is an entirely new concept, then well, we may still grant you guys this piece of land. That's what I think it is, because if not, then this is gonna be too sharp of a drop compared to the past few previous sites. Later we'll take a look at some of the pricings compared to those more recent ones like Riviere and also OL Hill Residences. Okay, then this one will be we are talking about the Upper Thomson one, which was already very clear that there's a new cluster of private housing, 6 of them sold so far, and out of the 6, 5 have already been launched. Crazy competition, but I think you guys that has been following my channel, you get a message very clear that this is a highly competitive area and developers are very cautious. And that's why even though that area, if you just look at the Springfield site, the Springleaf site has no supply, but despite that, because of its close proximity to Lentor and the grip that Rokako has in the area, I don't think most developers will want to go in and risk it. And I wasn't alone. Quite a lot of market watchers also feel that it wasn't going to be awarded. But despite that, last time the Marina South one wasn't awarded because it was claimed to be too low. But over here, it seems that the government also kind of recognized. I feel it's more not really because of the same reason as this, but I feel it's because of the pilot project thing, which in a way it kind of like confuses, because now it leaves a very big question mark. Example is, I would say it's almost like how Lentor Mansion came out to be, that suddenly there's no sale for Icon Ledge, and that's why a lot of people are wondering how are developers going to cope with it. And this one probably will be another one again, because this one is not just Icon Ledge going to sell. This one is like still got long stay service apartment, and then out of the GFA, I think 85,000 square meters GFA, 20,000 has to be left for this long stay service apartment. This piece of land, quite interesting, because over here, let me just jump the gun a little bit. Just 15,000 square meter worth of land. It can use up to 1,170 residential units. I checked in my list. I haven't seen with this kind of size 1,000 plus units, this kind of density. The closest one I can think of probably Whampoa Bank, which is a much smaller land. Okay, well, in terms of density, pure density wise, Whampoa Bank is worse. But this is already quite bad for 1,000 plus, 1,100 units. 15,000 square meter is quite pathetic. I would say 400 plus service apartments. That's included over here. That means they're going to be selling about how many is that? They're going to be selling about 700 plus units out for sale. The rest they probably have to keep lah. Then these are some of the factors which I shall not. You can go and read out yourself. I think it's quite standard, and like what I mentioned just now, it says to be the new asset class. But government stand, I think they are also in a dilemma right now. They have to balance if everything also below, because now is at a developer sentiment are kind of like on quite a new low because of all these conditions over here. And we need to be clear, it's not that developers are scared or what. It's because they know that the government is trying to clamp down on rampant prices, and that's why they are scared So the main reason why the land prices are not going up is not because of the economy is not doing well. It's simply because there's too many things. There's too many imposed hurdles by the government on the developers that they do not dare to take this risk. So in a way, our market is very different. It's more of a self-induced kind of market as compared to like what most other countries are. There's quite a lot of like example, I just recently met one client that says, the Paris site is going down, even though it's freehold in that kind of CCR region, but it's not doing well because of whatever. Despite interest rate being low, their interest rate is crazy low. I just found out also, but well, I think it's a totally different kind of thing. That's why quite a lot of people are still choosing to put their money in the local market here in Singapore. But we also have to know that instead of just holding back all the lands that has been bidded by all these developers at low prices or very low interest levels, there is still a need to balance out the new housing supply. Because if you don't push out the land, eventually it's gonna happen again. The whole thing is gonna happen. The shortage of housing is gonna happen again, and that's why we are gonna repeat history. And that's why the government is kind of in a way trying to even up the situation so that we don't get such a bad situation as the previous 2-3 years. And then the rental, everything starts going up again. I think government is trying to be more long term looking in that sense lah. And the other thing is, all these are large ticket sizes. You're talking about $1+ billion. And how many developers? The smaller mid developers they are totally out of the race. That's why these are only left to the bigger developers. How many of them actually can swallow this? Alright, just a quick touch on the Springleaf piece. On the other hand, if you compare this one for Zion Road, 15,000 square meters, 1,170 units. This one is more than twice the size and only 900 plus units. This is going to be much more of a condo lifestyle than this guy over here. This is a typical trend of this kind of like a CCR, RCR kind of like okay, this one is more, I think this one, if I haven't really gone and check it out, but I think this one should be considered RCR. So this is the RCR area. Then RCR, CCR is that RCR in almost like a CCR kind of place. It's a kind of like a prime location. So as you can see over here, coveted location, edge of the River Valley, blah blah blah. This is supposedly quite a prestigious location, but this is the trend that is very high density, and that's why it doesn't really give off the people that kind of feel of a condo. I'm just here because I'm trying to squeeze into the location, and that is the kind of feel that people don't really like, and probably that's why which kind of explains the declining interest in the CCR region and why people prefer to go a little bit further, travel down, and then where they can get more expensive land so that they can enjoy more of a condo kind of life as compared to just trying to squeeze in for the sake of squeezing in. Probably that's why not much developers will kind of realize this, and that's why the interest is very muted in these kind of areas. So, a quick reminder: developers only have 5 years to sell from the time that they acquire the site. It's not even the time that they launch. For those people who don't really get it clear, it's the time that they acquire the site. But there will be certain conditions that may allow some extension. Recently, we've seen quite a few already. What kind of reasons they extend, they do not tell us particularly, but you just have to make an educated guess. So we take a look at this area. You can see quite a lot of GLS so far. The ones in this color, orange color, is not very. It's not launched yet. Some of them are not launched yet. Some of them are already launched already. I think there's only one that's launched. The other two are on reserve list or something. This is the piece of land that was just sold. Over $1 billion, $1.1 billion for this size of land. This land is not cheap at all. But okay, this is multi-modern. This is Riviere. So Riviere is really, really close to this piece of land. Hill is just here. So if you look at the numbers, this one was transacted, I think 18,000 PSM, not PSM, but PSM per meter, square meter. This is 12,000 only. And this is how many years ago? This is a donkey years ago. This is like 2017. And this is how many years on? We are talking about 7 years. Okay, 6.5 years, 7 years, 6.5, around this period of time, right? So about 6.5 years. 6.5 years later, it's not just the price went down, went up. It's supposed to go up, like how a lot of people who bought into this were led into thinking. There were people who bought in as high as 3,000 plus for 99 years. Come on. If you're buying really because you love this location, I mean, I no doubt about it. Last time the Zouk location, I think this is quite nice. Got yo sui, whatever. For those very into feng shui, I'm not very into feng shui, so I really can't be bothered. But for those people who really want this location, 3,000 plus PSF, how does it justify? But if you really like this place, then I got nothing better to say. But if you are looking as an investment and you look at the pure amount of supply in this whole entire area, how does it make sense for you to even get in there? And that's why I always mention it is very important to do due diligence if property is going to be a large chunk of assets and you cannot afford to lose value in it. I've been stressing a lot of times, but people just, I just go to show fair is nice, and then buy already. After that, TT, how I regret already. How am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to kind of beg for the developer to kind of give you back the option fee? Please go and do some more homework. I think it's very important. I don't understand. One thing I always don't understand is people spend so much time at work. You're talking about maybe 10 to 12 hours at work every day. That's how many days. Maybe you work, example, 20 days, let's say I give you 22 days, 220 hours a month for thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. But you can't be bothered to spend maybe 10 to 20 hours extra to make a more informed multi-million-dollar decision. And all this, making the right decision can save you a hell lot more money than you can earn in a few months, or even in 1 or 2 years, or even 2 or 3 years. So why would people make this sort of mistake? Even till now, I do not understand. Can somebody please, if you have a better idea, please share with me in the comments. I would be very willing to find out what's the real logical answer to this, this question that has been boggling my mind. Which, well, I only have I would say quite a large majority thinks that way. That I buy already. After that, then I think worry about it. I buy because I like. And then after that, then they realize that last time I buy because I thought can make money. So whatever people say right now, I don't really trust them based on whatever they claim that they want. But eventually, when the numbers turn the other way, then we'll see maybe a different thing. Okay, so back to this. Let's take a look at some of the figures. This was back in 2017. This is the price, and then this is Zion. This price, this is the most recent one. This price, although this is going to be set aside for the long stay apartment, I don't think they can sell this. They have to manage this. But this is still an asset class. Well Hill was 16,000. That's why if you look at this, how many years later? 2 years later, the prices didn't. It was supposed to go up, and the theory is that the GLS, the more GLS you have, the prices are going to go up because all these new launch are going to be selling more expensive than you are. However, this one end up selling cheaper than this, and then this one will end up selling cheaper than these guys. Then how does it actually make sense for these guys over here? In the first place, should you even be getting into this area, especially for those of you who are buying? One thing I don't understand is, people buy, I buy for investment, then I buy very high price, and then they buy very high price, and then they rent out the people at the low price because there's so much competition ongoing right now, right? They buy in this kind of area, they buy the high price, they can't even, some of them, they can't even cover their monthly installment right now, and then they justify it as an investment, and then after the PSF go down already, I'm like, okay, this is a totally botched investment. So why are these kind of things happening, guys? Come on, it's $1 million, multi-million dollar investment. How can you allow this kind of thing to happen to you? Unless your investment is just investment in your face lah. You're just like I want a 面子 kind of thing. I just then 没有话讲啦. I got a house in CCR. I mean, if that's what makes you happy in front of your friends and relatives and whatever to make you more higher status, then buy by all means lah. But if you're buying, somebody is making in OCR $1 million, and somebody is not making money in CCR, or rather you are not making money in CCR, you're buying some bugger way far off, nearer towards Changi Airport is making $1 million, and then this side you are making don't make money now, might still lose money. There are still quite a lot of people who lose like tens of thousands of dollars, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. Today or the day before, the article for Sentosa came out. Average median loss is a few $100,000 million, $100,000 median transaction. That means more than half of people are losing money there. And then today, if you look at the residents at W Singapore Sentosa Corp, if I get it correctly, there's quite a lot of units still moving. Why are these kind of people buying? If they are buying for Sentosa, then okay lah. But I read somewhere that people trying to get out of Sentosa alone. You're trying to get out of the main island itself. It takes 30 to 40 minutes trying to get out of the island alone. Then imagine if you're going to other places. If you're going to CBD, okay lah. But nowadays, not everyone works in CBD. If I'm going, maybe if I'm meeting some other people in other appointment, let's say I need to go and meet Jurong, or I need to go Tampines, I need to go Punggol. Your whole entire journey is gonna be 1.5 to 2 hours. I don't think that's a good location in that sense. A good location should be somewhere that you can get easily to any time, right? I think that is I find it's like, example, sometimes I think about it, I find it's very contradicting that, people, I want to be within close to MRT. And then there's another development that's probably not as close to MRT, and then still, maybe you take one bus stop, maybe two, three bus stops, and then they are making a whole ton of hoo-ha about this. Whereas if they can walking distance to MRT, it's like 7 to 10 minutes. No, what's the difference, guys? And then some is like, I'm very close to LRT. If I'm very close to LRT, then where is your LRT gonna go? Your LRT is still gonna go all the way one whole big round to your MRT, right? Then isn't that the same as you taking a bus? Just one is taking a train, one is taking a bus, but sometimes the bus one may actually end up being nearer. So what is the logic? Sometimes it's just, sometimes if you iron out the chinks in your brain, then that is where you kind of uncover the truth. Okay, maybe sounds too deep to most people, but just that's really the way it is. Okay, that will be all we have for today regarding this. I think the main thing I will still say is that I'm still kind of surprised that they still go ahead to award this. But now reading this article that is on the, we all knew that it was supposed to be a pilot project thing lah, but how willing the government is to experiment by still giving out this piece of land at this price, that one was a big question mark. But now that they just give out this one already, I think the message is very clear, is that maybe they are allowing them to try and error. That's my take on this. So for those of you who got into this area, I would say unfortunate. That's just unfortunate. I don't see how that this piece of land is gonna pull up your investments in this area. Okay, how is it gonna pull out? I think that's really something that I need to scratch my head. But if you are not buying for this place for investment, then I think you shouldn't even be on this channel in the first place lah. So those people who bother sit through my videos, you probably will be on the investment spectrum, which you really have to be more careful about. That will be all. So see you guys. Bye bye.